What's up, RX family? Hope all is well. Some of you might remember about a month ago I made a video with my wife and I and the kids at the zoo, and I talked about if there were enough comments and requests, I would make a video talking about self-motivation. And what I've done over the last 11 years to stay self-motivated, because sometimes people just can't hang on to it long enough to check off the majority of the things on their goals list. And I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to finally get around to it, but with kids, personal life responsibilities, the business, new teams, it just gets hectic sometimes. But we are doing this today, right here, right now. Why don't we start off by saying this? People who are not self-motivated end up working for people who are self-motivated. That's just the way that it is. That's how the world turns. You don't gotta like it, you just gotta realize it. But that's the way that it works. That's why as an entrepreneur, it is so critical for you to really master this ability and hang on to this motivation as long as possible. Because I see a lot of people that have short bursts of motivation, but they can't hang on to it long enough to achieve the majority of things that they want in their life, or the major things in their life that require a lot of persistence and consistency. And that's why self-motivation is important, because you cannot succeed without consistency and without perseverance, both of which require self-motivation. That's the source of consistency and perseverance. When something doesn't go your way, how do you stay motivated still? Where you don't just throw in the towel and quit. That's all self-motivation. The biggest misconception people have is that it's just something you don't have control over. You just wake up one day and you're motivated or you're not motivated. It just is what it is. Like it's a big accident. And that is just absolutely not true. That is as far from the truth as it could possibly get. There are actually things you can do to stay self-motivated, to build it almost and develop it like a skill. I know it's weird to look at self-motivation as a skill and something that you could build and work on and develop, but believe it or not, guys, it actually is. So what does it all come down to? Two things. Number one, what are your goals? Do you have any? And if you have goals, how bad do you want them? See, over the last 11 years, I've never, ever lost sight of my goals. It don't matter how bad things get, I still have the ability to keep my eye on the prize because I want a certain kind of a lifestyle so badly. Number two, what are you intentionally, purposefully surrounding yourself with? Your environment. You got to be really careful what you allow in your life and what you intentionally are always surrounding yourself with. Sometimes that's people. Sometimes that's just things. Sometimes it's literally your physical environment. So I'm going to go into some of these real quick. What's the big deal with goals? You got to have them. I mean, how are you going to get what you want if you don't even know what it is? How are you going to shoot a target you cannot see? Right? You're going to be very unmotivated if you go, I don't know where I'm going. Right? So you got to know where you want to go. You got to know where you want to be. But when it comes to goals, how do you stay reminded of them? Number one, you got to write them down. Too many studies show successful people have their goals written down on a piece of paper. The people that just keep it up here, they don't really achieve a lot in life. Because when life gets overwhelming or stressful, and all you had was it up here, trust me, that gets cluttered. And that gets buried beneath all the stress. And you're not going to remember what you're working for. You're not going to remember what your prize is that you're supposed to keep your eye on. So write the goals down, but if you want to take it to another level, I'm a big believer in vision boards. What's a vision board? It's a cork board or some kind of a board of all the goals that you have in your life, right? A quarterly vision board is a great place to start if this is new to you. If goal hitting is not a habit for you yet, start with a quarterly vision board. Every 3 months, have a vision board that shows what the things are that you're trying to accomplish. Let me show you one of mine right now. This is my quarterly vision board. So you notice it's some of the things that I just want to accomplish over the next 3 months. And the reason this is important is because most people, when they're new to this, don't have the best ability to hang on to goals that are very far out. Things that are very long-term that may not happen right away, it's harder to stay self-motivated for a longer period of time. So you got to have the shorter term, smaller goals. That way you're feeling like you're winning. You're feeling like you're making small steps in progress, those small wins. And every 3 months, every quarter, you update your vision board. And whatever you accomplish, you take off. Whatever you don't accomplish carries over into the next quarter. But I also have this vision board here as well. This is in my office. This is my bigger long-term goals, right? Many times it's the yearly vision board. Some of these goals will go a little bit beyond a year though. But I have this in my office. I look at it every single day, and I even have my wallpaper on my phone, my laptop, of the thing that I really want at that moment, whatever motivates me the most. Because you're going to have a lot of goals, but not all of them are going to be your action motivators. What's an action motivator? It's something that gets you to take action now. For example, you might want kids one day. That might be one of your goals. Start a family. But it may not be something that puts you into action right now, because maybe you're young. Maybe you don't even have a significant other right now, so you just can't fathom it. So you gotta have action motivators, and that's what you constantly gotta stay surrounded with, and you gotta keep reminding yourself by looking at it, right? Because they say out of sight, out of mind. It's the biggest problem with people when it comes to motivation. They don't look at the things they want long enough, so they forget. Now, I understand for some people, they can't forget their goals because it's right there right when they get home. You know, maybe it deals with their family or something going on in their personal life. But the people that don't necessarily have that problem, you got to be doing things to stay surrounded by your goals. That's why dream building is huge. If you're not dream building at least once a week, you're going to have a hard time hanging on to that motivation, my friends. What is dream building? It's actually visiting the things that you want. If there's nice clothes that you want, go to the store and try the clothes on. If there's a car that you want, go to the dealership, get in the car, close the door, smell the leather, wrap your fingers around the steering wheel, and even take it out for a test drive. If there's a house you want to live in or a neighborhood, you got to visit that neighborhood, go to open houses. That is dream building. You're physically putting yourself in a position where you are right there with your goals. It's not the same when you're just thinking about it. It's different when you could hold on to it, you could feel it, you could smell it, you could touch it, you could be all about it, right? So dream building at least once a week is a must. Here's a video that I took of one of my VPs that was test driving this Maserati that he wanted. It was Maserati Gran Turismo.
Before you came in, I took my daughter from school.
Oh, yeah?
Went to the dealership and got a feel for it, you know? It was different. It was different after being behind the wheel.
There you go. Beautiful.
Same time when he was done, I got to test drive this Ferrari 458, which is a car that I definitely do want. And this is dream building, you know? Nothing beats the feeling of doing things like this. Next up, have a board of affirmations. What is a board of affirmations? It's a board, it's a list of the qualities, the traits, the characteristics that you never want to lose sight of or that you want to develop into. And right in the morning when you wake up and right before you go to bed, you go through your board of affirmations, but you gotta attach emotion to it. They can't just be words you're just reading or looking at or saying out loud with absolutely no emotion attached to it. Like, you gotta read this stuff as if it's you. Like, you gotta really feel it. And eventually, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna develop into that. Or, if some of these traits you already have, you're never gonna forget it. You're never gonna lose sight of it. It's always gonna be a part of you. So the key with both the board of affirmations and your vision boards is belief. If you don't have belief when you're looking at these things, it doesn't even matter. You have to believe that it's possible for you because it was possible for other people. And as long as there's a human being that has these things, you can too. And you gotta really believe that. Next up, I get a lot of people that tend to ask me what I listen to in the car. And I'll tell you right now, a huge part of me staying self-motivated for over a decade is what I listen to in my car. Let me take you inside the car so you can see what I actually listen to here. Music collection. Listening to some of that Jim Rohn right now. Let me show you my playlist. Browse directory. Check this out. Bill Gould. This is network marketing material. Challenge to Succeed. This is the single most powerful piece of personal development I have ever listened to or been exposed to in my life. If you're not listening to this, you are messing up. I'm sorry to be so blunt and straightforward about that, but this is life-changing stuff right here. A lot of top money earners won't disagree with that either. Holton Bugs, more network marketing stuff. Hype and Miscellaneous. This is actually music that I want to listen to when I want to get fired up, when I need to get in the zone and feel a certain way. When I'm working out or on my way to a training or an overview and I need to get in the zone. Let me have you listen to some of this. It's motivating. Gets you to feel a certain way. Gotta feel like a warrior sometimes, right? Fighting this war on poverty here. Gotta get in the zone. Anyways, a lot of movie music on this. I do have some 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, Eminem. The feel-good tracks are things that make you feel like you're successful or becoming more successful. Gotta have your Batman, Dark Knight soundtrack here, right? We gotta feel like a superhero as we fight this war on poverty. All I Do Is Win, not a bad thing to listen to, right?
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on
There you go. More winning. Man of Steel, got the Superman soundtrack here. So you guys get the point. It's music that gets you to feel good, keeps you motivated, gets you to feel fired up. Anyways, going back to this here. More Jim Rohn, Justin Timberlake. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm a dancer. So don't think this was easy for me to make this change at the very beginning of my career. I prefer listening to music. As a dancer, that being my life. But I wanted success so bad, and I told myself, once I reach a certain level of success, I could always implement as much music as I wanted at that point. Robert Kiyosaki, right, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, talks about why he likes network marketing here. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, how to handle all the objections we hear in the business. 21 Laws of Leadership, Think and Grow Rich, Time Management, Tony Robbins. Cultivating an Unshakable Character by Jim Rohn. So look at all this. Only 2 of these, JT and my Hype CD, my Hype album, is music. Everything else is personal development. So the question to you is, what are you listening to in your car? What are you listening to? Are you turning the car into a mobile classroom, or are you just jamming out? If you're just jamming out, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, is it really helping you towards your goals? Why limit the level of success, the amount of success you can achieve when you spend a lot of time in the car? Turn your car into a mobile classroom. But anyways, the last thing, always stay plugged into the trainings. Every single week. Consistency is key. It's really hard to stay self-motivated when you're not surrounded around the right people. But I'm telling you right now, if you're surrounded by people that are going through the same grind that you are, they're going through the same journey, the same path, the same uphill battle, and you're around these like-minded people, it is so much easier to go through it. And you know what it does? It motivates you when you see someone else that was going through an obstacle or a challenge and they overcame it. Or you can get advice from people that have been there and done that with whatever you're going through, and you can find out how they overcame it. But when you're not connected and plugged in consistently to the trainings, especially when it's bad, when things are really bad, that's when it's even more important to stay plugged into those trainings. Because it motivates you, it uplifts you, it raises you up. You don't just not show up because you just don't feel like it. No, you show up because you don't feel like it. That's the key. It's doing what the average person won't do, so you can have what the average person won't have. And I want you to think about this. If you're doing everything I'm talking about in this video, you got your goals written out, you got your vision board, your board of affirmations, pictures of your goals on your phone, your laptop, you're always surrounded by it, you're dream building once a week, and you're always at the trainings, how hard is it going to be not to be motivated? It's going to be so hard not to be motivated because that thing is going to be turned on 24/7 because you're always surrounded by your goals and you're in an encouraging, uplifting, motivating environment. So my suggestion, guys, is to try these things out. I know most people don't do the majority of these things that I talk about in this video. So imagine how much your business and your income and your life will change when you start implementing a lot of these things into your life. Now, of course, I am still human. So yes, I still do go through my rough patches and my moments where I totally lack motivation. But it's such a rare occurrence. And when I do go through it, I'm able to get over it real fast because of how I set myself up for success. I might not want to make that phone call, but you know what? When I look at my phone and I pick it up, there's a picture right there of my goal. I know why to make that phone call. I'm reminded instantly when I touch my phone and I look at it. So anyways, guys, tag your teammates in this video. Current teammates, future teammates. That way we could all be on top of our game, highly motivated, ready to rock and roll and blow this thing up to the next billion-dollar-a-year company, changing our lives in the process, and serving and helping our families and everyone that we care about. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys at training. Let's get it.